Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Inessa and I am an indie author from Toronto, Canada, and I write under the pen name A.N. Sage. I write mostly in the YA space and I write a lot of fantasy, some sci-fi, and just a whole bunch of magical realism and anything magic really. And in today's episode, I am talking about one of my favorite tools for writing. I've done a few little videos here and there that if you haven't seen on tools, I will be linking it somewhere around so you can see the whole tools playlist. But I have talked about Scrivener before for series Bibles, and I really like using it for that. So I thought I would just talk to you guys about why it is that I really like Scrivener as a tool for writing and why it works for me better than all the other writing tools out there. As a starter, if you are new to this channel and you want to hear more about my writing journey, some tips that I have for writing, and just kind of want to see what it takes to be an indie author these days, then make sure you're subscribed and you hit the bell notification so that you don't miss any of the videos. And if you are not new to the channel, then welcome back and thank you so much for being here. It means the world to me every time somebody watches a video. Or if you guys like post a thumbs up or anything like that, it seriously means so much. And I'm so happy that I am able to put things out there that help other authors and writers because when I was starting out, I went in blind. And so I'm more than happy to share my experience with everybody else out there who's going through the same thing. So that said, let's talk about Scrivener. So why do I use Scrivener and why do I love it so much? I really like the flexibility that Scrivener offers. I love being able to house multiple documents in one spot without having to open several projects. And like I mentioned before, I do really love it for a series Bible. I think there's a few favorite features of mine that I will discuss a little bit later. But for the most part, I just find that Scrivener to me makes sense for writing. It's developed for that, right? There's like a few tools that really help, but I just really like the layout of it. And I like that I can have so many different parts of the draft in the book, whatever project I'm working on, in just this one area. Like I can have notes, research, all my character stuff, little editing notes that I can make for myself. Everything is there. I can put pictures on it for reference. So everything is kind of there. And I can also organize it. So it lets you organize it really well and move your chapters around. And if you are a pantser, I mean, I'm a plotter, but I think if you're a pantser, this will be really helpful for you because you can literally move stuff around later on or as you're writing. For me as a plotter, I find the separation where I can separate by act, by chapter, by scene, like how you can narrow it all down is absolutely amazing for me. Like it really works with the way that I guess my brain works. And so there are alternatives, of course, to Scrivener, as there are alternatives to everything else. A lot of people write on Google Docs, which is readily available. It's free. It's out there. I find for me, I used to write on Google Docs. And while it works really well, I just find Scrivener a bit easier organized, like as far as organization goes. Also, I don't necessarily always write somewhere where I have internet access. And so it's, if you're only writing somewhere where you need internet access or Wi-Fi to write on, for me, that was a deterrent. Like if we go to like a cottage that doesn't have any reception, right? Like, do I just not write or do I write in a notebook or on my phone? Like, what do I do? So there's also different apps similar to Scrivener, like WhiteWriter, Manuscript. The Readsy book editor has a writing tool that you can write in it. And these are all really good alternatives. I just find that like I've started using Scrivener and it just works for me. And I know a lot of authors that use it. And so it's a personal preference. So some of my favorite features, I know I said I'm going to have some favorite features for you guys. The themes, so you can update your themes in Scrivener, and I love that so much. I have my Scrivener set up all branded to my author name. So if you look up my website, which is linked below, you'll see that like I just rebranded my entire authorship. And so I have my Scrivener set up with the same colors, same images. You can have images in the background, or you can theme whatever you're writing on. You can make the theme fit the book you're working on. So if you're writing like dark academia, you can have a dark academia theme, and you can change everything from colors, fonts, background images, full screen background images. So everything can be changed to kind of fit this theme. And I just find that it really gets me in the mood to write more, right? My next favorite feature is 100% the compiling feature. The Scrivener compiling feature is out of this world amazing. So if you're not familiar with Scrivener, compiling is basically after you're done writing your whole manuscript, you will compile it in like your book, or your draft, you will compile it into a manuscript, and it will compile it into a standard manuscript format. So if you have trouble like figuring out what that is, or if you're submitting to agents and you need it to be in standard manuscript format, Scrivener will just do that for you, and it will actually follow. So if you are labeling your different scenes as chapters, it will compile it as a chapter. So all you have to do is label according to what you want it to compile it, and it will add those kind of features or whatever it is to the Word doc that you're later compiling it. You can compile to a Word doc, to a PDF. There's a whole bunch of it, like HTML, whatever you want. There's a whole bunch of options. For the most part, you're probably compiling to a Word doc manuscript, so you can send it to your editor, to your betas, etc. But I find that the compiling feature for Scrivener is just like chef's kiss. It's so good. It takes a little bit of playing around with to make it look the way you want it to look, but once you have it set up the way that you want it, it literally takes a second to just put your entire draft together into a proper manuscript, which is great. My next feature that I love is, I kind of mentioned before, is the note and research organization. So I just love that I can draft while I'm writing, but also have like a section open with all my notes and my research, or a section open with all my character descriptions, right? That if I'm writing, I'm like, oh my God, what color was this dude's hair? Right, check. Didn't remember. Oh, it's purple. Odd color. But that was his hair color. So you don't have to check your notebooks, go through like your different like emails you sent to yourself or whatever. Everything is already there. I also really like Scrivener because it is compatible with Pro Writing Aid. I am a huge advocate for Pro Writing Aid. Obviously not sponsored by them in any means, but they're fantastic self-editing feature, and Scrivener is compatible with them. So what you would do is actually open up Pro Writing Aid, you would open up your Scrivener file, and as you change things, as you edit things using Pro Writing Aid, it will save it into your Scrivener file, and from there you will compile to a manuscript. So it's just great. It's all related, and I just love it. And then my last thing that I really like about Scrivener is the backup features. As writers, the scariest thing in the world is writing a whole bunch of words and then losing them. I've had this happen to me a couple of times. Since then, I now have like 3 or 4 different drives that I back up every month. And I have Google Docs that I actually copy from Scrivener and put into Google Docs just in case for extra backup. So I get very paranoid. But the backup features in Scrivener are like really, really good, because as you're writing, it will continue to back up to however, you can have 5 different backups, 10 different one if you want to. And you kind of choose a folder on your computer where you want it to back it up to, and it'll just do it in the background as you're writing. So if you do, like if something crashes, if your computer crashes or something, you can always get those backups back to the last place where you finish writing. And I just absolutely love it. So is Scrivener necessary? I mean, if you want to use anything else, it probably isn't necessary. Like nothing is necessary in writing. Like you need a pen and a paper, really. Like that's what's necessary. It's just some way to get the words out. So all of these like bells and whistles and different programs, no, they are not necessary. However, the price point for Scrivener is, I believe, $50 last I checked. So for $50 for lifetime access of a program that will make your life easier, for me, that's worth it. So it might not be necessary, but I think it is definitely worth it. But if you are worried about the price point, then I definitely recommend checking out some of the alternatives that I mentioned, because I believe most of those are, if not all, are free. So there are other things out there that you could get similar experience from. But if you feel like spending $50, or if you have an extra $50 to spend, I would definitely recommend Scrivener. I think it's a great tool. A lot of authors use it for a reason, and I just highly recommend it. So if you've been thinking about whether to get Scrivener or whether not to get Scrivener, I hope this helped you out. Make the decision one way or another. Make a decision for you. I think Scrivener does have a trial that you can try out for free and see if you like it. So if anything, try it out. It might not work for you at all, but just give it a shot and see. It could be what changes your writing style. Changed my life, so it might help you as well. So with that said, thank you so much for staying tuned to this video and listen to me. And as always, I hope you guys stay magical, and I will not be seeing you like this next week because we are actually going away. Remember when I said we go away to cottages? We are going to a cottage next week, and there will not be reception. I think it's like literally in the middle of nowhere, or it's just going to be iffy Wi-Fi or something. So I'm actually going to be posting and kind of pre-scheduling another cover design video for you guys. Hopefully you like those. It's just going to be like a quick, like one of those like speed videos of me designing one cover, one pre-made for Cauldron Press, which is my cover design business. And so hopefully you'll like that. So I will not be seeing you like this next week, but I will the week after. And I will probably have a cool little vlog the week after of our trip to the cottage. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. So I think I've rambled enough. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you in 2 weeks, but I'll be back with another video next week. Bye.